In the news, the polls are closed and the counting begins in Afghanistan's presidential election. Let's get more now with Bloomberg reporter James Rupert joining us on the telephone live from Kabul. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Larry.
Okay, so the polls are now closed in Afghanistan. What was turnout like? Was it enthusiastic? Will the election strengthen the legitimacy like the international community is hoping?
Well, Lori, for the moment, we don't have numbers. We have to go only on anecdotal evidence. The polls have now been closed and counting underway just for about 5 hours. Counting will take 2 weeks. By the time we get all the ballots in, some of them coming down from 10,000, 12,000 feet in the Hindu Kush Mountains on the backs of donkeys, it'll take a while before we have numbers even on turnout, much less results. But anecdotally, no, there was not the enthusiasm, there were not the numbers that the government and its international backers had hoped to see as a way of underscoring the legitimacy and the popular mandate of either President Karzai or whoever would succeed him.
Results coming on the backs of donkeys. Wow. So what does the kind of turnout that you're describing mean for Afghanistan and the international community?
Well, we'll have to wait a little bit to see numbers on this to have a better sense for what it means. But it basically it means that the Afghan government and the international process that supports it and that's led by the United States has not quite sold the Afghan people on the credibility of either the government or the elections process. I've had a number of Afghan friends tell me, well, it wasn't worth voting because we can't see what relevance it has for us in our daily lives. And you can't win a counterinsurgency. You can't win a guerrilla war if you don't have a sort of a stronger sense of investment and from the part of the population than that.
Are you hearing about any violence keeping people away from the polls?
There were many scattered acts of violence across the country today. We don't have full accounts of that. It appears there was no single spectacular event, no massive car bombing or so forth that produced mass casualties, but lots of small attacks, rocketings, mortar attacks, etc. The government formally banned news organizations from reporting on violence, and hence they would not confirm for us when we would call them and ask for confirmation and details. We couldn't get help from officials on that today. It'll take a little time to get that part of the picture as well.
James Rupert, Bloomberg News reporter, covering the elections in Afghanistan today for us. Many thanks.